So today we are going to start reviewing and working on adding and subtracting fractions. We're going to be doing, and it's not Monday, it's officially Tuesday, but because we had to do that computer review thing yesterday, we're going to do add and subtract fractions today. Then Wednesday we'll do multiply, divide, and then Thursday we will mix it up. The first couple questions as we do this, like it just takes a minute to refresh it, and then kids are starting to go, oh yeah, I get this. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Just kind of stick with me and soak it in for a little bit, and we'll get it. Okay, starting out, I will say some of these have got to be switched a little bit, or it ends up kind of weird. Hint, hint. Okay. So, like, start with number 1. The ones that have to be switched are definitely on the subtraction side. I want you to think about it. What is 7/6 as a mixed number? 1 and 1/6. So here's my hint. On your paper or when you work it out, I'm doing it like this, because if I don't do it that way, it ends up I have to borrow twice. Okay, now, when I do subtraction, personally, I do stack it up and down. Add and subtract. Okay. Now, the first thing that we talked about, I'm going to take this one really slow, is just try to refresh you a little bit, is the first thing is with add and subtract of fractions, you gotta have a common denominator. Without a common denominator, you can't work it out. Now, if you're not remembering this, I'm just kind of refreshing you. Okay, your denominator is your bottom number of the fraction. Okay, you are taking those and trying to find one that they have in common. It is officially called the least common multiple, or the LCM. But all you're really doing is skip counting. I call it skip counting by 9 and 6. So, if I skip count by 9 and 6, you get 18. Okay? And 18 is your LCM. Now, once you have found that common denominator, this is usually how I write it. You don't have to, but this is the way I do it. Okay, now, the next part I kind of do in my head, so I'm going to show it in the pink part of the pen or whatever. I do this. I use multiplication tables. I think 9 times what gives me 18? 2. So I transfer that thinking right here to get that top number. Okay, so if I do times 2 here, I do times 2 on the numerator. Now I'm going to do the bottom one, because it's different. 6 times what is 18? 3. So I transfer the times 3 up there. 1 times 3 is 3. Okay, now of course, the very first one we're going to be hit hard with. We are now looking at a subtraction of 2 minus 3. Which we can't do. We gotta borrow, and I know it's been a while. Okay, we're gonna borrow from this 2. If we steal 1 from that big 2, it's a 1 that is left. And we add to the top whatever our denominator is. It's 18, so we add a whole, but that whole is cut into 18 slices based on that bottom number right there. We add 1 whole, just like regular good old borrowing, but we're going to add it in this way. Okay, so 18 plus 2 on the top is 20 over 18. The bottom never changes, just like in regular subtraction. The bottom never changes. Okay, so now I can do it. 20 minus 3, 17. over 18, and then I check over here, 1 minus 1 is nothing. I have it all simplified and pretty. Okay? It's crazy. Like the first one, it's like, ugh, you know, like I forgot about all that stuff. Okay. Number 2, since it is addition, it can just be done the way it is or worked out. It is 2/3 plus 2/4. Woo, okay. I have written it myself, who knows. Okay, 2/3 plus 2/4. So let's think. If we skip count by 3s and 4s, our common denominator is 12. Okay, to make my numerator, I'm thinking 3 times 4 is 12. 2 times 4 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. So 2 times 3 is 6. Now, I always look over here like it's addition. 8 plus 6. 14 over 12. Now, got to have a flashback here of improper fractions. So, 14 twelfths. If you divide 14 by 12, it goes one time. This is what I'm doing if you're not real sure. I'm taking 14, dividing by 12. Slow down, wait a minute. So, I got 1 and 2 twelfths. That's how I got the big mixed number. And then the reason he's giving me another number is we're simplifying it by 2. Now listen, the 1 stays that way. So it ends up being 2 divided by 2 is 1. 12 divided by 2 is 6. I will admit, this is the part that y'all kind of got used to with that cute ABC button. I know, we got to kind of wake up. Okay.
I really want the calculator for that.
Yeah, me too. On number 3, here I go. On number 3, I'm thinking this is the one we really need to change 32/6. So, 32/6. How many 6's are in 32? 5. 5 is what? 30, right? Y'all are freaking me out. 30. Okay. There'd be 2 left over out of 6. Okay. So, I'm going to write it like that on my paper. Here we go. 5 and 2 6. Minus 4 and 5 7s. 1 second. There we go. Okay, common denominator. If you skim count by 6's and 7's.
Oh, 42. Yes.
42, yes. Okay. 42. So, getting my numerators now. I'm officially doing, well, 6 times 7 is 42. So 2 times 7 is 14. Then I'm doing the bottom. 7 times 6 is 42. 5 times 6 is 30. Okay, now, it is subtraction. So can I do 14 take away 30? Nope. I'm going to borrow from the 5. Make it a 4. And I'm going to add what? 1 whole, which is 40. Slow down. 42 42s, right? I think you're going ahead and adding, but I just want everybody to know I'm adding that. Everybody good so far? Okay. Adding going across. I end like these two numbers. I end up getting a 56 over a 42. If I move this over, minus 30 over 42,
26 over 42. No, 26 over 42.
26 over 42. 4 minus 4 is nothing. Okay. Can 26 and 42 simplify? By 2. So I'm dividing the top and the bottom by 2. 13 21s. Okay. It's interesting. Like this, it's got a bunch of steps. Okay, going on to number 4. You can actually do 4 the way it is and 5 the way it is. Go for it, and then we'll kind of compare answers. On that one? Okay, 4 and 5. Here we go. Don't wait on me. Do it. Common denominator. Figure it out. If you need to skip count by those numbers on the top of your paper, do it. Do it. Write it. Did we make it to getting the 91/18ths? Yeah, okay. From here, 91 is bigger than 18 in proper fraction. So we have to think of it as using division. Let me do it right here. 91 divided by 18. Backwards kind of check mark answer. 18 times 5 is 90. So, where is my final answer?
1 and 1.
Start up here. 5, 1/18. Backwards check mark. It goes in 5 whole times. 1 is left over, and then that denominator is the same. So 5 and 1/18. It's a lot to remember, I know. Okay, try the next one. wasn't that bad. 2 and 3/35. Doesn't simplify, don't need to borrow. 2 from 4 minus 2 is 2. The whole number's on the outside. Good question. Okay. Just going to kind of scoot it up. Look at 6 and 7. Y'all made it that far? Do you see there's an issue? What's... questions? Like, I feel like some of you are stumped. Yes? Okay, the 5 came from that whole number, and then the 29 came from the 22 plus 7, which would be 29, and then there's 8. Now, so far so good? Okay, the reason I'm asking is, like, that is not the final answer. That's why I've not circled it, because 29 over 8 is improper. So how many 8s are in 29? 3, because that's 24, right? So 29 minus 24 is 5 over the 8.
8 over 5.
And then add the 5 back to it, that 5. So in the end, it is 8 and 5 eighths. The 5 plus the 3 makes that 8. It's odd,
To make the fraction decimal, you have to do that add plus thing to the whole number.
Here?
No, the one at the top.
You talking about the borrowing?
Yeah, when we have to do 8 times 5 plus 7.
Okay, you could do that. I know what you're talking about. You change this to improper. You can do that, and you should still be getting the same answer. So, did you change it to improper? Okay. So all it is, listen. No, this is neat because I think I've had more than one kid do this today. It's just one kid is admitting to it, I guess. If you change this, 8 times 5 is 40. Plus 7 is 47 over 8. Then you got 11/4. That's the same. Okay, common denominator is 8. Okay, so you got 47 over 8 and 22 over 8. Since it's adding, you got 69 over 8. And then cleaning it up, you got 8 times 8 is 64. There'd be 5 left over out of 8s. So you get the same answer, it's just a different way of doing the math, which is fine, totally fine. Some teachers teach it that way, where they change anything that's a mixed number, they change it to improper first. It just kind of matters. To me, it just, when we did some problems, it made it where I kind of had more work than I needed, I guess.
That's easy.
And that's fine. So you can work them all that way. That's fine. Okay. Number 7. Common denominator between an 8 and a 5. 40. 25 minus 16 is 9 over 40. Not too bad. You should have got 9/40. That one shouldn't be too bad. Getting them. Okay. 8. Looks odd, but you can do it this way. You get a common denominator between a 5 and a 2. Okay, 16 times 2 is 32. Now, adding 32 plus 5 is 37 tenths, and I got a 2. Now, 10 goes into 37 3 times, so you have 3 and 7 tenths, but you got to add in the 2, I ran out of paper, plus, so in the end it is 5 and 7 tenths. That big 2 plus that 3 made the 5. I will have done 1 through 10 in class, and I'm kind of hoping and expecting you to get 1 through 10 on your paper. I just did it, but you were folding paper. Number 9. Here we go. 21 over 6. Yeah, this one we can do the way it is. Minus 7/3. And then number 10, you can actually do also like the way it is. 4 and 2/6 plus 1 and 2/7. Common denominator. Guys, this is your next test, 100 points. I'm trying to get y'all to make a good grade on it. But some of us are folding paper. Some of us aren't checking our work as we go. I'm doing number 9. You should be doing number 9 with me. Now number 10. We'll be finding the common denominator of a 6 and a 7 is 42. How do I get what, babe? 7, 6. Okay, it was subtraction. So I got the 21 minus 14 is 7. And then because it's the top number is bigger than the bottom, I got to divide. 6 and a 7 one whole time. Then there'd be 1 left over out of 6. Do y'all see how I get the common denominator? You see how I got the 42? Does anybody not know how I got the 42 on this problem? Okay. Now I'm going to do, are you okay on getting the 42 part? Do what? For that one? That's for that one. I have no clue yet. I haven't done it. Okay, times 7 is 42. So 2 times 7 is 14. 7 times 6 is 42. 2 times 6 is 12. So those are my numerators. If it is adding, I got 14 plus 12 is 26, sorry, 26 over 42. And 4 plus 1 is 5. Now, because this thing is even, it ends in a 6 and a 2. It simplifies by 2. So, keep the big 5. 26 divided by 2 is 13. 42 divided by 2 is 21. Did you get the numerators right? The 14? Okay. What I did earlier, I made a mistake and I was subtracting stuff. Like I got 2 over 42 or whatever. And then you got to add the whole number. Did you start out with the... Okay. I don't know what to say. Like, they're on the paper. Got to copy them on your paper or whatever. Okay. Now, I've done all these in every class. So, basically, your homework. And I wish you would look because I'm trying to make it easier, but I'm sure some kid's going to go home and do the whole thing. Okay. On the back, we are just doing 11 through 20. Just this side. And I have one hint if you would like to look at the one that I'm going to give a hint on, which is number 13. On number 13, because it's subtraction in a mixed number, you might want to change it. If you divide this out, you would get 2 6/8. Take away 1 6/9. If you want to use that instead of that, it will make it a little easier. But you're just doing 11 through 20. Keep working. You've got about 5 or 6 minutes, and I'm still working on an answer key anyway. So the homework tonight, I'm not real sure where I stopped in my last class, but the homework tonight is the back of this sheet, and I may have already said this, but that's okay. I'm saying it to my 7th period. It is only the numbers 11 through 20. Only 11 through 20, so the left side of the page. Now, there is one that you may want to write down if I haven't already said it. This number 13. If you change it to 2 6/8 minus 1 6/9, your life will be a little bit easier. Okay, you might want to write that one down. Now, for right now, I'm just going to keep going with this assignment. For the ones of you who are willing to watch the video and keep up with me, maybe it will benefit you in your homework life. So, here we go. So I'm going to start with number 11. And I've worked these, but only one time, so I definitely could make a mistake. Okay, it is 2 3/5 minus, I don't know why I keep doing that, 11/7. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and write 12 just for the fun of it. It is 2/3 plus 4/7. I'll give you a second to kind of write those down. That line shouldn't be there. I'm getting my white out. Okay, go ahead. Find common denominators. Well, I guess it can be there now, can't it? If I go find common denominators, what would it be for 5 and 7?
35.
35. Okay, 7 times 3 is 21. 7 times 5 is 35. 11 times 5 is 55. Probably didn't leave enough room, but that's okay. So, I've got a 21 minus a 55. Can't do that. Gotta borrow. Let's try to use a different color. Okay, I'm going to borrow from the 2. Make it a 1. And I'm going to add what? 35 35ths. Yes, 35 over 35. Okay, that's going to give me a larger number for the numerator now. 35 plus 21, 56 over 35. This gets to wiggle over, and it really doesn't matter. I'm just taking up space, but I guess it's okay. 56 minus 55 is 1. Keep the 35. And 1 minus nothing is 1. Interesting. Okay. Okay, let's try number 12 now. 7 and 3, what would be my common denominator? 21. Okay, this one is adding, so I'm adding 14 and 12. 26 over 21. Top number's bigger, so I got to divide it out. 21 goes into 26 one time. There are 5 left over out of 21. Okay, final answer because it doesn't simplify. Okay, give me a second. Let me find 13 now. Okay, on 13, this is the one that we probably should rewrite. It is 2 and 6/8 minus 1 and 6/9. Give me 1 second. Did I relieve you of a question? You okay? You okay? Oh, okay. 8 and 9. 72. Well, I was just trying to think if there's anything smaller, because it seems like 72 would be huge, but I don't think there is, so we're going to roll with 72 at this point. Okay. So 8 times 9 is 72. 6 times 9 is 54. It's always the one that, like, kids freak out about. 9 times 8 is 72. 6 times 8 is 48. It rhymes. We've been practicing that one at our house. Okay. I'm a 3rd grader if you didn't know that. Okay. Subtraction. We got 54 minus 48. 6. Okay. Over 72. 2 minus 1 is 1. By 2. Okay, so if you divide this by 2, you get 3. If you divide 7 by 2, you'd get 3. You'd have 12 left over. 2 into 12 would be 6.
That goes in, 12.
What goes into 3 and 36?
3.
3. Yeah, back here we could have done it by 6, but it's fine. If I do it by 3 now, 3 goes into 3 once. 3 goes into 36. 12. 3 times 12 is 36. Really doesn't matter as long as you get that final answer. All it is back here we could have done by 6. Okay.
You turned in this book, so now I gotta find it.
Okay, 14. Here we go. I'm just going to move down the paper because honestly I don't know if I'm out of room or if it's going to fit. Okay, 14 is an addition one. It is 39 over 7 plus 7 over 2. Common denominator, 14. Okay, 7 times 2, so 39 times 2, 78. I'm sitting there still doing the math. 2 times 7, 7 times 7, 49. Okay, adding them up. 8 plus 9, 17, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I remember doing this one earlier. Okay. If it is this big, you're going to have to, what I call, start that guessing game. If you don't know your 14 tables. I usually start around 5. I'll tell you right now, a 5 would be 70. So I need to go up, right? Okay? Because I got to figure out how many 14s go in there. So 10 would be too big, because it'd be 140. Which let me try. 8. So if I do times 8, I get 112. So times 9, I get 126. Which one do you want me to use? 9, because it's 126. Let me check my work. 9 times 4 is 36. 126. Yeah. So 14 will go into 127 9 times at 126, and then it would be 1 left over out of 14. Because it would be 126. 127 minus 126 would be 1. Woo! That one's interesting. Okay. Please finish through 20 for homework. Please finish through 20. I would think we did the hardest ones if we know the truth. So, I have had a break in the class, so now I'm going to start with number 15, and I'm just going to work some of them. Stop talking. If I was you, I would have out paper and be writing these down with me. I don't know why you wouldn't. If a teacher's doing your homework with you, I do not get why you wouldn't try to help yourself. Okay, starting on number 15. Okay, you can actually write this one just the way it is. So, step 1, stack it on top of each other, if you like that method. Get it written down and copied and all that good stuff. Okay, step 2, common denominators, only because it's add or subtract. Now, with this part, please stop talking. With this part, does everybody understand the 7 and the 3? All I'm doing is this. I'm writing down, like, the multiples of it, if I skip count by it. And I'm finding the one that is the lowest and the most, that's low and in common. They both have 21. Okay, my LCM is what that's called, least common multiple. It was the first number they had in common. That's how you're going to get the bottom number, the common denominator. Okay, the next step is creating the numerator. To create the numerator, what we're thinking is 3 times what is 21? Y'all know it. What is it? 7. So in my brain, I'm doing this. 3 times 7 is 21. 1 times 7 is 7. When I get that final number, I'm putting it large over that one. So down here, I'm thinking 7 times what is 21? 3. So I'm transferring that thinking. 4 times 3 is 12. Okay. Now, from here, you're really trying to do 7, take away 12. But if you have 7 apples, can you take away 12 apples? No. Okay, so we got to borrow. And I know this is weird. I know this part's weird. But we got to kind of learn it again. Okay, just like before, when we borrow from the top, he's got 4 apples. If we take one away, he's got 3 apples. The only difference is back when you were doing, and this is what kind of gets some of you, like if I have a number like, let's say 34 minus 19, just in general, I want you to think about it. You got to borrow because you can't do 4 minus 9. Does that make sense? And step 1 is we go next door to the neighbor and we take 1 from him. And if he has 3 apples, he now has 2 apples. Well, it's the same thing. We go over here to our neighbor, we take 1 from him, and he now has 1 less. Okay, the only difference is over here, we would change that 4 to a what? 14. And we kind of like put a 1 next to it, right? A 1 whole. But all it is 4 to 14 is really like adding 1 whole 10 to it. Okay, I want you to think about this. If I add 1 whole up here, I'm going to add it as a fraction. So I'm going to hand you a whole pizza. But this pizza is going to be cut in 21 slices. It's whatever the denominators are. So I'm still handing you 1 whole, and we're still adding it to the fraction, but it's been cut up into a bunch of slices that match the other pizza. Okay? And you literally add them. What is 21 plus 7? 28. Over 21. Bring over this. And you now have it set up in a way that you can work it out. Like you can do 28 minus 12. Well, what's 8 minus 2? 6. What's 2 minus 1? 2 take away 1. 1. Okay. And then the bottom would be 21. Did you keep that denominator? Over here, I go back and look at whole numbers now. 3 minus 3 is 0. Okay, now I am checking this thing for simplifying. I know 4 times 4 is 16. I know 2 times 8 is 16. 1 times 16, 16. But none of those will work with this. 3 times 7, but 3 and 7 didn't work up there. So that's why that one, we're stuck right there and we're good. Okay, I'm going to do another one. 16. This one's probably addition, so should be a little bit better. 2 and 5/6 plus 11/4. Okay, move it up. Write it down. Okay, so think about it. If you skip count by 6s and 4s, what's the first number you hit? 12. 12. So on the bottom, we need a common denominator of 12. Okay, now we're going to make the numerators. 6 times what is 12? 2. So put that up here. 5 times 2 is 10. Okay, 4 times what is 12? 3. And 11 times 3 is 33. I'm looking at a plus sign, so 10 plus 33 is 43 over 12. 2 plus nothing is 2. Okay. Now, I gotta clean that thing up. It says 43 over 12. How many 12s are in 43? Twelve times 3 is what?
There's 3 and
Well, 3 is right, and 12 times 3 is 36, right? Okay, so from 36 to 43. 36 through 7 through 8 through 9, 40 through 1, 42, 43. 7's left over. Okay. Out of 12s. But we got to add that thing back in, that 2. So in the end, we get a 5 and 7 twelfths. It's a lot of work. I mean, it takes just a lot of refreshing and thinking back about it. Okay, I'm going to do another one. If you're willing to watch and listen, here we go. Number 17. It is 5/6 minus 6/8. Interesting. I don't like this one. Common denominator. Lower. I'm going to make you go lower. You can use 48. You're just going to simplify a bunch. I would use 24, but that's why I said I like this problem, because it's your first instinct is, no, I said I do like it, because your first instinct is to do 6 times 8 is 48. But if you can use a lower number, it makes it where you don't have to simplify as much. That's all it is. Okay, so 6 times 4 is 24. So 5 times 4 is 20. And then 8 times 3 is 24. So 6 times 3 is 18. 20 minus 18, 2 over 24, which simplifies to 1 over 12. Yeah, dividing by 2 on the top, divide by 2 on the bottom. And there's no whole numbers, so that's why I can end that problem. Okay. I'm going to do one more. It is number 18. 53 nights. It is addition to 5 and 2/6. Another one I kind of like. My first instinct was to do 6 times 9 is 54. But the number that is lower is, what's an easier number than 54? For 6 and 9. Count by 9s. 9, 18. Yeah, 6 times 3 is 18. We just forget about that one. So, if you're working on this one, like I would use 18. Okay. 9 times 2 is 18. 53 times 2, 106. 6 times 3 is 18. 2 times 3 is 6. It is addition. So 106 plus 6, 112 over 18, and a big fat 5 in the front. Okay, whew, here we go. We got to figure out how many 18s are in 112.
A lot.
Okay, so we're thinking 6 times 8 is 48. 18, 6. It would be 108. That'd be right, actually. Okay, so this 112 divided by 18 would be 6. 108 to 112 would be 4 over 18s. I gotta bring down that 5. So we gotta add these, which gives us 11. But we also gotta simplify 4/18 by 2 to make it 2/9. Woo! That one's interesting. Please finish through 20. Please finish through 20. Thank you.